Chosen one, they cannot stop talking about you, speculating in shadowed corners, buzzing with theories on why you switched up on them, missing the cosmic truth that you've simply ascended to a higher timeline they cannot access. Their 3D gossip manifests as your headaches, fatigue, and energy depletion because their words are not merely sound. They are spiritual daggers thrown from lower dimensions, desperate attempts to drag you back to their frequency. Their confusion is confirmation. Their gossip is validation. Their accusations are proof you've transcended exactly as divinely planned. While they drain your energy, they simultaneously craft a narrative, a story designed to paint you as the villain in a tale where they are innocent victims of your sudden change. They cut me off for no reason. They tell anyone who will listen. It was just a little fight, they insist, minimizing the months of boundary violations that preceded your departure. They completely switched up on me, they declare, conveniently omitting how they consistently disrespected your needs, your space, your growth. Someone particularly confused can't comprehend why you stopped engaging when they believed you were divinely connected. They thought God brought you together, never considering that the same divine force might also separate what no longer serves. They label you paranoid, cold, shallow, selfish. Each word carefully chosen to justify why you left, to explain away the uncomfortable truth that you saw through them. We hear the lies they spread. We recognize the false narratives they construct. We understand this is merely their desperate attempt to make sense of an elevation they cannot comprehend. Long before evidence appeared, your intuition whispered warnings. Before they showed their true colors, your stomach tightened in their presence. Before the mask slipped, your energy recoiled from theirs. Your discernment, that divine internal compass, identified these energy vampires instantly. While others fell for their performance, something in you knew. That knowing saved you. You sensed the manipulation tactics that successfully ensnared others, but failed to capture you. Your internal truth detector registered the discord between their words and their energy. The incongruence between what they claimed and what they projected set off silent alarms in your system. Your instincts recognized these connections would ultimately sabotage your forward movement. Your higher self understood that maintaining these relationships would anchor you to a timeline that couldn't contain your expansion. Remember the relief that flooded you after cutting ties, that instantaneous lightness, the burden lifted. That wasn't guilt, it was confirmation. Your body celebrated freedom from energetic parasites. We honor your discernment. We validate your intuition. We affirm that your gut instinct was protection in its purest form. These energy vampires excel at one thing, transforming their unresolved issues into your responsibility. They weren't moving forward from their own problems because they found the perfect host. You. Why would they do the difficult inner work when they could simply offload their darkness onto your light? Each interaction became an energy transfer, their chaos, confusion, and heaviness flowing into your clear, grounded field. Their problems became your burden. Their emotional weight landed on your shoulders. Their unhealed wounds bled onto your white garments. They expected you to fix their lives while they drained your resources. Your compassion became their crutch. Your wisdom became their quick fix. Your energy became their drug of choice. Your spiritual gifts, those same gifts that make you exceptional, marked you as the perfect target for their vampiric tendencies. Your empathy, your healing capacity, your ability to see potential beyond current reality, these sacred attributes became tools they weaponized against you. We witnessed their parasitic attachment. We observed as they consumed without contributing. We watched as they mistook your generosity for unlimited access. That strange pull you've been feeling, that inexplicable awareness of a specific person, isn't random. The dreams featuring someone, From your past, the sudden thoughts of them that seem to come from nowhere, the sensation of being watched. These are energetic preparations. Someone is working up the courage to contact you. They've been building momentum, rehearsing what they'll say, imagining how you'll respond. The energy buildup creates pressure in the etheric field, connecting. A pressure you feel as tension, as uneasy anticipation. Their persistence feels spiritually off because their intentions aren't pure. They don't seek reconciliation, they seek access. They don't want healing, they want energy. They don't miss your presence, they miss your power. This isn't a heartfelt reconnection brewing, it's a calculated attempt to re-establish feeding lines to your energy centers. The universe allows you to feel this coming breach attempt as a warning, a heads up from the cosmic intelligence that protects you. And now, let us take a brief moment to honor the chosen among us. Here's to the ones who see the world differently, the silent guardians, the watchful souls, always awake, always vigilant. They don't fit the mold, and they wouldn't have it any other way. While others walk familiar paths, they forge their own, fighting unseen battles, illuminating the shadows. It's not for everyone, and that's okay, but if you feel it deep within, you'll know this is meant for you. No masks, no pretense, just truth. The Obsidian Inner Order is here, a place where kindred spirits gather to share wisdom, to connect, to transform. Over 450 strong, united not by conformity, but by purpose. If you're ready, you know where to find us. The link is in the description. If not, that's perfectly fine, because we're always here, watching over, making a difference in ways unseen. Here's to those who walk their own path, not for recognition, but because it's who they are. Here's to you. Thank you. Your decision to remove these people wasn't merely a social choice. It was a timeline shift of cosmic proportion. Each no you declared, each boundary you established, each toxic connection you severed physically relocated you to a higher frequency reality. This new timeline, this elevated plane of existence, manifests through the accumulation of your aligned choices. Your free will, exercised in service to your highest good, literally transports you to a dimension these lower vibrating entities cannot access. When they accuse you of having switched up, they're acknowledging a shift they cannot comprehend. They sense you operating at a frequency beyond their perception. They feel you vibrating at a rate their density cannot match. They don't understand your choices because they remain trapped in a lower vibration, a heavier, slower moving reality, where manipulation, energy theft, and victimhood dominate. From their vantage point, your liberation looks like betrayal. We celebrate your timeline jump. We honor the courage it took to choose elevation over comfort. We recognize the sacred significance of your quantum leap into higher consciousness. They vastly underestimated you. They thought your kind heart indicated a weak discernment. They mistook your compassion for blindness. They assumed your generosity meant you couldn't see their true intentions. How wrong they were. Your spiritual gifts operate at a level of sophistication they cannot fathom. While some boasted of their intuitive abilities, your quiet knowing ran deeper. While they performed spirituality for audience approval, your authentic connection to Source strengthened in silence. Your ability to see through facades, to perceive the truth beneath carefully constructed personas, to sense intention behind action. These abilities superseded their manipulative tactics. They came armed with strategies that had successfully ensnared others, never suspecting you could see straight through their design. Your connection to divine guidance remains clearer, stronger, more reliable than they could comprehend. While they grasp at spiritual techniques, you embody spiritual truth. While they talk about ascension, you quietly rise. The shock they experienced, when their usual tricks failed, revealed their fundamental misunderstanding of who you are and what you carry. We recognize your true spiritual capacity. We honor the depth of your connection to higher consciousness. We witness the authentic power they failed to respect. Nothing infuriates an energy vampire more than seeing their former host thriving. You're looking good. You're feeling lighter. Your energy emanates a clearer frequency. Signs of success, both internal and external, manifest in your field. Your peace radiates like a beacon, announcing to the world that you've reclaimed what was always rightfully yours, your power. Your unbothered appearance triggers them profoundly. Your focus on your own life, your own growth, your own path forward without seeking their approval or inclusion sends them into spiritual crisis. They expected you to struggle without their support. They anticipated your return, crawling back to the connections they believed you needed. Some watch your social media with obsessive attention, analyzing every post for signs of the suffering they hoped you'd experience without them. Others regularly ask mutual connections about you, disguising their information gathering as casual concern. Your refusal to perform the expected role of the regretful, struggling exile disrupts their entire narrative. Your thriving without them shatters their illusion of importance. We celebrate your reclaimed radiance. We applaud your demonstrable growth. We honor your refusal to diminish your light to make others comfortable with their darkness. While energetic attacks continue from some quarters, a fascinating transformation unfolds elsewhere. Those who previously spoke negatively about you, who perhaps participated in the character assassination campaign, now finds themselves in the unexpected position of defending you. Your consistent kindness, maintained despite distance, penetrated their defenses. Your refusal to retaliate, to sink to the level of gossip and backbiting, catalyzed a perspective shift they never anticipated. They now speaks highly of you to others, triggering jealousy and confusion in mutual connections who expected unified opposition to you. Their changed perspective destabilizes the collective narrative others constructed about your character. In quiet moments of honest self-reflection, they recognize a profound truth. They were the problem in your relationship. Their unhealed wounds, their projection, their expectations created the friction they blamed on you. This realization doesn't come easily. It arrives through their own painful growth, their own dark night, their own confrontation with shadow aspects they preferred to project onto you. We witness this transformation with interest. We observe as truth gradually overcomes falsehood. We recognize this single shift as the first domino in a larger cascade of revelations to come. The ultimate irony: those who engaged with you on the most superficial level now label you as shallow for seeking deeper, more meaningful connections. They're always looking for bigger and better, they complain, as if your desire for growth, for expansion, for alignment represents some character flaw. They think they're too good for us now, they mutter, unable to comprehend that your withdrawal has nothing to do with superiority and everything to do with energetic compatibility. The truth, which they cannot or will not see, is that you seek something more fulfilling, more aligned, more supportive of your authentic evolution. You're not chasing shallow external upgrades, you're honoring a soul-deep calling toward connections that reflect your true frequency. They don't understand the principle of energetic conservation. Your limited energy must be protected, preserved, and invested wisely. Your spiritual sensitivity requires discernment about where your power flows. Your purpose demands focused energy, not the constant drainage of misaligned connections. We understand the depth of your seeking. We recognize the spiritual maturity in your choices. We honor your refusal to settle for connections that deplete rather than enhance your life force. Society conditions us to believe that ending relationships requires catastrophic justification, betrayal, abuse, dramatic confrontation. This programming leads many to endure years of subtle energy theft, of quiet boundary violations, of slow motion, soul erosion, while waiting for the legitimate reason to leave. Your spiritual sensitivity exempts you from this requirement. You feel energy misalignment with an acuity others cannot comprehend. What they perceive as minor incompatibility registers in your system as intolerable dissonance. The subtle wrongness you sense in certain connections, that quiet but persistent knowing that something isn't aligned, provides sufficient justification for your withdrawal. You don't need to wait for betrayal or blow-ups to honor your energetic integrity. Trusting your gut, that immediate visceral response to energy incongruence, is not just acceptable, it's necessary for beings of your frequency. Your internal guidance system operates with a precision they cannot understand because they haven't developed comparable sensitivity. The peace you feel after cutting ties, that profound relief, that energetic expansion, confirms the necessity of your action. Your body's positive response validates what your intuition already knew. We affirm your right to honor your energetic discernment. We support your decision to trust internal guidance over external justification. We validate your withdrawal based on energy alone. The fatigue weighing you down will not last forever. The energy drain created by others talking about you, thinking about you, attempting to reconnect to you energetically will subside as you strengthen your boundaries, and they eventually redirect their focus. This exhaustion, this heavy, dragging sensation, marks a transitional phase as you adjust to your new timeline. Your energy body recalibrates, rebalances, and reinforces its protective mechanisms after prolonged exposure to vampiric connections. Rest assumes sacred importance during this period. Your system requires recovery time, integration space, healing moments. Honor this need without judgment, without the productivity programming that labels necessary restoration as laziness. Your power returns incrementally, building with each boundary maintained, with each act of self-protection, with each moment of conscious energy reclamation. The strength they attempted to permanently drain regenerates, multiplies, magnifies beyond its previous capacity. A period of wish fulfillment approaches, a phase of manifestation, of dreams materializing, of long-held visions taking form. This coming season of abundant return requires the very energy you now wisely conserve through rest, through boundaries, through selective engagement. We witness your gradual strengthening. We observe your energy field repairing, expanding, fortifying. We anticipate the power that will surge through your system once this recovery completes. The wheel turns, energy shifts, the truth emerges. Mark these words: vindication approaches. Those who painted you as villain will witness your ascension. Those who labeled you as crazy will confront your clarity. Those who dismissed your warnings will face precisely what you foresaw. The slander campaign against you carries an expiration date. The universe permits these false narratives temporarily, allowing them just enough rope to eventually hang their own credibility. Their words against you are seeds of their own undoing. Watch as their reality crumbles while yours solidifies. Observe as their connections fracture while yours strengthen. Witness as their energy depletes while yours multiplies. This reversal occurs not through your vengeful orchestration, but through the natural consequences of energetic law. You needn't lift a finger to engineer their downfall. Truth reveals itself in perfect timing without your intervention. The same discernment that you honored, the internal guidance they mocked, manifests as your greatest protection and their most profound regret. While they scorned your boundaries, you quietly built an unshakable foundation. While they ridiculed your standards, you silently constructed an impenetrable fortress. We perceive the coming vindication. We recognize the approaching reversal. We witness the shifting tides that will reveal what has always been true. You saw what others couldn't see. You sensed what others couldn't feel. You knew what others refused to acknowledge. The battlefield exists beyond physical sight. Their weapons, whispers, speculations, energetic hooks, your defense, boundaries, discernment, elevated frequency. This war was decided the moment you chose yourself over their comfort. Look deeper at what's happening. The universe forced this separation. The cosmos demanded this elevation. Your soul required this timeline jump. The divine orchestrated every detail of this so-called switching up they accuse you of. Their accusations reveal their blindness to cosmic law. Energy must match energy. Frequency must align with frequency. When you raised your vibration, when you refused to descend into their density, you activated universal protection mechanisms that automatically ejected mismatched connections from your field. The law of energetic consonance cannot be violated. Just as oil separates from water by natural law, high frequencies naturally repel lower vibrations. Your cruel cutting off was simply physics operating on the spiritual plane. Those most vicious in their attacks against you reveal themselves most clearly. They fed most heavily on your energy. The parasite screams loudest when the host escapes. The vampire rages most violently when the blood supply vanishes. We've watched them scramble to replace what you provided. We've seen them attach to new hosts, only to find no one else carries your unique energetic signature. We've observed their frantic attempts to secure alternative sources for what only you could give. While you ascended, they deployed their backup plan, replacing you, finding someone new to fill your role, locating another source of the energy you once freely gave. Their strategy collapsed spectacularly. The replacement couldn't match your frequency. The substitute lacked your spiritual capacity. The stand-in failed to provide the energetic nourishment they'd grown accustomed to extracting from you. This failure intensified their focus on you. Their obsession grew proportionally to their disappointment. With alternatives, the very act of comparison cemented your irreplaceability in their consciousness. Some attempted to create a clone of your energy, adopting your mannerisms, mirroring your speaking patterns, even appropriating your spiritual practices. This pale imitation only highlighted the authenticity they could never duplicate. Others tried convincing themselves they never needed what you provided. Their forced declarations of independence, of being better off without you, of newfound freedom ring hollow even to their own ears. A few resorted to creating a coalition of energy sources, assembling multiple people to collectively generate what you alone once supplied. This committee of replacements still produces less than you effortlessly emanated. We witness their scrambling. We observe their failed substitutions. We recognize that what you carry cannot be replicated or subdivided. What they perceive as your switching up actually represents a fundamental fracturing of reality itself. The timeline you previously shared with these individuals has literally split, branching into separate experiential tracks that operate at different frequencies. This divergence creates a perception gap that cannot be bridged through ordinary communication. When they look at you now, they literally see a different version of you than who you've become. The image they perceive arrives distorted, filtered through the density of their lower timeline. Their confusion stems from this perceptual dissonance. They interact with a projection of you stuck in their reality track, while your authentic self has moved beyond their range of clear perception. Some sense this split on a subconscious level, triggering their desperate attempts to pull you back into their timeline through emotional manipulation, guilt induction, or energy hooks. These efforts cannot succeed because the frequency differential has grown too vast to traverse. The laws governing timeline splits prevent backwards movement. Once you've accelerated to a higher frequency band, Returning to lower densities becomes energetically impossible without catastrophic damage to your field. Your system literally rejects the downshift these connections demand. We observe the widening gap between realities. We track the increasing divergence of experiential paths. We confirm the impossibility of reconciliation across such differing frequency bands. Everything connects. Their gossip, their speculation, their angry accusations of you having switched up. These reactions don't occur randomly. They represent direct responses to your frequency elevation, your boundary establishment, your timeline shift. Their narrative flounders in the face of your steady rise. Their attempts to paint you as villain, as paranoid, as shallow reveal more about their limitations than about your character. Their inability to access you on your new frequency triggers the very behaviors that confirm you made the right choice in creating distance. This isn't mystical thinking. This isn't about chosen ones or special powers. This is about fundamental energy dynamics, about your absolute right to protect your peace, to guard your power, to curate your connections based on energetic compatibility rather than history, obligation, or others' expectations. We stand with you in this understanding. We affirm your perception. We validate your experience. The attacks will continue for a while longer, perhaps intensifying before they finally subside. The false narratives may spread further before truth ultimately prevails. The energy drain might temporarily worsen as they make last desperate attempts to reconnect, but your liberation has already begun. Your reclamation is already underway. Your power already returns, multiplied by the very challenges designed to diminish it. They talk because you've transcended. They speculate because you've shifted. They claim you've changed because you finally awakened. And in this awakening, you discover what we've recognized all along. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's your greatest strength. Your boundaries aren't selfish, they're sacred. Your intuition isn't paranoia, it's protection. The truth stands revealed, undeniable, magnificent in its simplicity. You didn't switch up. You woke up, and now you're finally gloriously free.